like a really good actor.
Absolutely. Well, remember the other guy who took off was now he's playing Black Manta, and he was obviously in what was that show? Watchmen as well. What's his name?
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, I know you're talking
Yeah,
about.
he's in a lot. He's in Candyman. He's in Matrix.
He's playing Morpheus.
Yeah, he's playing like a different version or a young version of Morpheus or something.
I think what happened is the same thing that the way that they explained it away when that lady died, the Oracle died, that she had to get a new form. So I think that's what they're gonna do with him.
Maybe.
Even though he supposedly died in the Matrix. It was
Yeah, he died.
Yeah,
So in the game he dies.
Yeah.
Matrix Online he dies. So and apparently they're using some of the stuff that happened in the game as canon for the film. So
Dude, all I want people to realize, and again, we're older now, but like, god damn it, 20 fucking years ago when the Matrix fucking dropped, that shit went so goddamn hard. That was like the cyber fucking Star Wars of our fucking time. Like, I remember watching it like 3 times in the theater and just loving the ever-loving shit out of it. And even the sequels, like, especially the second one more than the third one, they were big events. Like, everybody knew where the fuck they were going opening weekend.
Oh yeah.
Huge.
Dude, I remember the first one came out and I was just like, well, there's a lot of buzz around this film, but then when we saw it was a packed fucking house. There was people that stood on the edges of the theater the entire 2 hours and watched the film standing up. That's how packed the theater was. Even the very front row where your neck is craning back and your eyes are bleeding, all those seats were full watching Matrix. We saw like a 10 o'clock showing, and like the scene with the train where the face-offs between Neo and Agent Smith, there's this little moment of silence, and like the guy next to me, one of my closest friends, he yells out, "Fuck him up." The whole theater erupted. People one dude jumped out of his seat. Someone threw popcorn in the air. The whole fucking theater was cheering. It was so insane. It was insane. I'll never forget that moment. That was when it dropped. And it's fucked up because literally like 2.5 months later, episode 1 from Star Wars fucking dropped. So
damn.
I remember watching that because
it was crazy time.
I was going through comp school in the Marine Corps when that movie dropped. I remember we had to drive from like 29 pounds, like fucking Ontario, to go watch that movie.
God damn.
And we were like, damn, it was like me and like 3 other nerds. But we loved that movie because there was like, I remember like the trailers were like so like obscure. Like, what is the Matrix? And we're all like, well, what the fuck is the Matrix? You know, like, so we just want to see what is the Matrix. Like, we don't understand.
Yep.
And the first scene where like, you know, Trinity just jumped and the whole goddamn scene shifted and like turned, which is now people use that all the time now. But that was the first time I saw it being used.
Yep.
It was like that 3-dimensional shot. Yeah, my fucking jaw dropped on the floor. I was like, what am I watching?
Dude, when he was getting shot on that rooftop and fucking limbo bent backwards and shit, and then bullets fucking sailed back, I was like, what in the shit is going on? This is some other shit. You know what I mean? And then remember, in between the first movie and the second movie dropping, everybody's like, well, what the fuck does Zion look like? You know, what's that going to be? Like, there was all kind of I remember people doing like fucking college articles, like just writing their own fucking fan fiction. That was the first time I was exposed to fan fiction based on the fucking Matrix shit. Yeah. Like where people just would write their own shit and be like, hey, I'm putting this on a blog, you know?
Oh yeah, there's
it wasn't even a blog. Well, actually, no, I guess back then it was a blog, right?
Yeah, back then it was a blog. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. And then like when you see Zion, you see like famous like people.
Yep.
Like you had what was it, Dr.
Cornell West was on there.
Yeah, he's like one of the council members. I'm just like, what the hell? Why is he in this film? But he's speaking so eloquently. I love it. And then you had like all these other people on there. I'm like, dude, like well-respected people, as well, scholars and whatnot in the film. And I remember like people were like super deep into it, like writing college, like probably said, college papers. There's like all these theories. There's like the God complex and all this stuff. And there was like the Animatrix was supposed to evade people because like if you watched it, it had the little short that did the lead up. So everyone was all about it. Everyone had to see it. that was like one of the top rented DVDs before the film came out. It was super crazy, super crazy.
Well, you
Yeah,
know,
so
well, sorry. What was really cool about The Matrix is it was like one of the first times that most people. It's what brought it. It really changed the way that American movies were being made after that, because it brought like Chinese choreography, like martial arts choreography, into like the Western world, and for
Yep.
like for like the wide audience of America, that was the first time people saw fighting like that outside of like a Chinese movie or Japanese movie, mainly a Chinese movie, like a kung fu flick.
mhm.
And like seeing like the way they were using like wire fu with that shit, it was just, like it was blowing people's minds. And
Yeah.
yeah, after that is when like you saw like more of like the evolution of wire fu, and then when they had gun fu with damn, what was the name of that movie?
Oh, Equilibrium.
Equilibrium. Yeah, that
When
movie
they
was
did the
badass
gun
too.
katas,
Oh man.
that was a good movie. That was
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but don't forget, like again, to 19-year-old prodigy, 19-year-old Kronos, 20-year-old Kronos, 55-year-old old ninja. It was amazing to see
Hmm.
like these folks in trench coats with like Uzis and fucking RPGs and fucking people up, but everybody looked young and fucking hip and like they would go to some cyber internet cafe or something. Like the look of them motherfuckers was off the fucking hook. You know what I
Shit.
mean?
It was
Like
like
the
a
cool
bunch of
factor
a
was
bunch of
hard.
cyber goths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
It-
that works, I guess.
It
Yeah,
was
I mean,
peak
it's
cyber goth.
and
Yes.
it took the stigma off because back then, for you youngins, the whole Columbine and trench coat thing was still
Yeah.
kind of like it was still kind of controversial. Like every time you saw someone in a trench coat, people were like, "Oh, they got a gun. They're about to shoot up the place." So this made the whole trench coat thing like, "Oh, they must be." Heroes or fans of the Matrix, because it was easy Halloween costume to make. All you
Yeah.
need is a trench coat and a suit, all
Dude.
black, and some glasses, and
My man Morpheus wore some fucking shades with no glasses,
yeah.
just a rim, and looked cool as fuck. And we hadn't seen him like he had such a hot career in the '90s with like What's Love Got to Do with It, and then Boys in the Hood and whatnot.
Mhm.
But this was something different. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne as like the ultimate guru guide, knowing kung fu, going in and out of places.
Bruh,
Yeah.
he was Black Yoda
Yes.
in a trench coat.
For real.
That's why everyone connected with him. He spoke instead of speaking backwards, he just spoke Yoda from left to right, front to back, and he taught Neo what to do, and he believed in him so much, but he knew that like he was gonna fail. He kept with him, and he believed in this whole like bigger than the rest of us type prophecy, and he was captain of the ship and whatnot. And then we saw in part 2 that he had he had a boo thing waiting on him. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude. I'm all the way fucking excited about that shit. Like, I hope it's a big fucking hit phenomenon again.
Yeah,
And,
that's
like,
some shit.
like rightly so. People give Warner Brothers a whole lot of shit because they fucked up over and over again, putting Jonah Hex before Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman sometimes. But like back then, like they had the Matrix trilogy, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter
Mhm.
all hitting in like a pretty much back to back to back years around late '90s all the way into the late aughts.
2000. Even Constantine, even though it was a post Matrix film, but Constantine was kind of a hit, even though it wasn't exactly accurate because he's supposed to be British. And
Yeah.
there's no the castle that or his mansion that he had. None of that's really featured, but people still resonated because it was Neo doing dark magic.
Yep. I didn't even associate him with the DC Constantine because he wasn't British. I was like, what's this
Exactly.
weird?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was weird. Like he didn't even try
Exactly.
to. He's like, I'm just gonna be me.
Yeah.
All right.
Wasn't blonde.
Oh yeah, none of that. I
Yeah.
didn't get it either. I just thought this was a really cool supernatural film. Come to be like, oh, this is DC. Oh, this is John Constantine. Wait, what? He ain't British. He had the trench coat and shit, but he wasn't blind. I'm like, but it still worked.
Yeah.
It was dope.
Fucking shit, man.